Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. Today we're going to be testing out the readyman wilderness survival card, and we're going to actually test out the broadhead here with a traditional bow and arrow, which is handmade. Alright, I'm going to pretend it's a marauder coming to steal my preps.
Yeah.
We're trying to best approximate what you would be stuck with in a survival situation, so hopefully, you know, obviously that's a lot better than what you're going to have, because chances are you're not even going to have a bow that's that good. In spite of the fact that it's handmade, you're probably going to have something much more primitive, and your arrows aren't going to be that straight, but at least partially simulate what it might be like and what it's capable of. So let's check it out.
I got a handmade bow, made it myself. Its name is Sophie, which in Greek means skilled knowledge. And this is my first naughty bow. Like ideally you want a stave that's nice and straight, but this one I thought, well, I'm gonna really test my skills and learn how to work around all these knots and whatnot. And
beautiful.
It's a success.
Alright, so within this simulated scenario, we're presuming that we do have a knife at our disposal.
And so I'm putting the taper on there so that when you have the broadhead in there, as you can see from the side, when that goes into an animal, like sure the broadhead is going to penetrate, but this is going to slow it down a lot. If it's really wide, that's going to hit and it's going to create drag, because it's going to have to push the flesh apart, right? Yeah. Whereas the broadhead's just going to fly right in. But this,
so hopefully with that taper, it allows it to smoothly ease in there.
Yeah, and then I'm just kind of burnishing it with the back of the knife here, just to smooth out everything, so that you're going to get more penetration into the animal.
All right, so we're going to be utilizing the readyman saw in order to carve out a little knock in the tip of the arrow shaft so that we can insert the arrowhead. And I'm wondering too, if you did this part while the readyman card was together, you might have more leverage there too.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of thought of that after I took it off. I thought maybe you could use it while it's
actually
still
sawing pretty good through there, better than I expected actually.
Yeah, it's not bad. And just so our viewers know, this is willow, the kind of willow that you find in a marsh, where it's not an actual tree. It's just it grows about 6 feet tall or something like that, and it's just shoots coming out of the ground. It's kind of sharp. So if you could find a stone, and then you could grind that so it's a little sweeter, because that'll cut your cord.
So we want to hopefully insert that a bit deeper,
yeah,
to cover up as much of that sharp metal as possible. So obviously we're not going to be hunting an animal today. We're going to see if we can get some significant penetration on a stump. Most importantly is going to be the accuracy of the archer and the quality of your bow and your arrow shaft, how straight it is, whether you have fletching on there or not. Those are going to be just as equal factors as that. And that looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, maybe a tiny bit more.
I think that looks pretty good, and maybe if we did have a rock, we'd probably want to file that end down so it was pointier. Yeah. Alright, full disclosure here, we looked everywhere for a rock within a 100-yard radius. We couldn't find one, so we're going to go with modern technology. And so hopefully if you're struggling out there, you got yourself a piece of sandstone.
Yeah, you could find sandstone. It's a pretty common thing, right? But the area we're in right now is it's just soft soil everywhere. There's nothing. The sharpened broadhead. It's not a razor's edge or anything, but we just use some sandstone, a little sandstone sharpener right here. So it's in there and it fits. And now we're gonna wrap it with some flax.
Got some flax here.
And when you're working with flax and raw fibers, this would be like, you could use nettles for this as well. I just happen to have this for making bowstring, so we're going to test this out. But if you have nettles or dog bane or something like that you can work with, all good. Get a little bit, just a little bit damp. Spin it into some thread. And this isn't the same as making rope. We're just kind of twisting it around itself. Makes it a little bit stronger. because the fibers bite on one another, and it also gives you an actual thread to work with. Ready, assuming you had a lighter and you had a fire. We don't have one today because we've been having a lot of forest fires, so just best to play it safe. So if you did have a fire, then you would have charcoal, and if you mix the charcoal with the pitch, then it acts as a hardener. So it makes it a little harder, and when this dries it can be brittle and break. But with the charcoal it's not, and the charcoal keeps it from being quite so sticky. It makes it more tacky, I guess.
Alright, so here we have the beautiful readyman finished broadhead on a willow handmade shaft with spruce pitch, is it?
Yep.
Flax hair, and that's about it.
Yep.
And
a little bit of dirt on there to keep it from being sticky so that you get more penetration. And in true survival scenario fashion, it's Gorilla Tape for fletching.
perfect.
A little bit of a helix on it.
And we also have your naughty bow.
Yeah, which is not a survival situation bow, but
This is something that probably took you many hours to make. So. All right, let's. We're just gonna, just so people know, we're only trying from 10 feet right now, just so that we can assure that we hit the target. Hopefully, we hit the target, but I guess that'll be up to you. And we're gonna give her, and we're gonna see if this, how well this holds up to this abuse. So it's really not abuse; it's intended purpose. All right, so let's go see what happened there.
well, we knocked a chunk of wood off. And
We knocked a chunk of wood off, but we still
you can see it.
we still have an arrowhead.
It tried to penetrate. Some of the sap is gone there, but it just didn't.
I think it's asking for one more.
Yeah, it's still pretty firm in there. It's not moving. Yeah, let's try it
Good
again.
job. Looks like it kind of bounced off there.
It's still on.
So we tried a second time there, and it's still on there. Is it wobbly at all, or
No, it's pretty good. It's
pretty good?
slightly moves, but
But it would
so
be
slightly.
enough to push through. All right, let's try this one more time. Almost. Okay, so it looks like we deflected and we penetrated the tree, and it's wedged in there pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't want to move. It was buried. You can see it's shiny up to about there, so well, it's wobbly, but
We could give her shit one more time.
yeah, I mean, if your deer has just run off 100 yards.
This is shot number 5. I didn't think it'd get past 1, so I'm impressed so far. Well, I'm just impressed with the fact that you shot it so many times and it still maintained its form. There's a lot of skeptics who, myself included, who didn't think it would get past 1 shot, and you're putting a lot of power behind these shots too. I'd say at least 40 pounds.
Yeah, it's about a 40-pound bow, and it hasn't bent yet. I mean, with all the deflections.
All right, I'm gonna pretend it's a marauder coming to steal my preps.
Yeah.
I think we might have got something there.
Oh yeah?
Right through. Uncover the dirt.
Well, that's his leg.
That's deep into the dirt. Or the duff, I should say. Oh yeah, and the arrowhead is certainly still on there. And it's almost like the more you kind of hit something, the more it pushes it in.
Mm-hmm.
So it wedges it in there even deeper. But it is a little off center now.
Yeah.
But still, damn fine work.
Yeah, I'd give it an A+ for an arrowhead.
You know what? Yeah, I think that's exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
That thing is still flat. I think I'll leave this with you,
Cool.
and hopefully you can kill something with it this fall. Send us a picture.
Let's try one more shot. Still got the arrowhead.
All right, we may be pushing our luck here. I feel like a gambler getting lucky at a craps table, and it's time to leave.
Still there.
Still there. It's asking for more.
Arrow penetration test.
Yeah, it's really less of a penetration test as it is a test to see how well the broadhead holds up to constant abuse at this point.
Yeah.
Because even if we did penetrate that, it wouldn't be that impressive considering it's rotten wood, but it's stuck into deep sand, which is much harder to penetrate. Looks like we did finally catch us a kill. Not bad.
Not bad, eh?
Looks like good eating.
Yeah, you can chew on that.
Is there some Cambrian layer on there you could dine on?
Got some moss there. You know, if you got a paper cut, you could fix it up with that little bit of moss.
Hey, not bad. So we netted ourselves some first aid supplies. Sweet.
Check out the Canadian Preppers Network blog, an excellent resource for survivalists and preppers.